But yeah, if you have it on in here though, we're gonna hear it through that.
Hey, you streamers, you catch the early part of the show, so welcome to
Right.
FBG Live.
And this is Free Texas.
Yep, this is how we're doing it.
For now.
Unmute it. Yeah, we got our thing.
Are we live yet? No, we're still in crowd time. Our mics
Are
are
you
not
gonna
on.
open, or I'm gonna open?
It doesn't matter to me.
Why don't you open?
Okay.
12 seconds.
It's because the stream tab is open. Freedom, 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 oil.
Boy.
Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen, to another installment of Free Texas. As always, it's it's Frankie.
And Steve.
Now, what are we going to do today besides talk about free in Texas?
We can do fart jokes.
No, that's for other radio
Right,
shows.
we'll give that to the, AM, FM affiliates. They can
For
talk
sure.
about crazy stuff.
Well, you know, that belongs to, I guess, what you would call mainstream media radio, I guess, you know?
Is it mainstream, really?
Well, yeah, I mean, because everybody's a fan of, fart jokes and radio shows that don't have any substance and just tell you, go Spurs, go!
Yeah, but I think our listeners are a little bit more discerning because we're on We Resistors Radio, and they think about things a little bit different.
I know.
Don't you think?
I hope so.
I hope so too. Or maybe I'm
Otherwise, they pressed on the wrong link and ended up on this show.
wrong. Hey, well, this is a call-in show, and feel free to give us a call. It's 347-857-4397. We'll be taking calls the whole night. If we don't get to you right away, it's probably because we're not paying attention, but we do want to hear you. So we won't have any drops, I'm pretty sure. But we'll see.
Yeah, and we don't scream, so whatever, but we would like for you to talk about free in Texas
Right. You can auto screen if you want.
if you want to.
Yeah. Otherwise, you just don't screen yourself and give us a call at 347-857-4397. We also have a live stream that's going. You can visit fbglive.com, click on the streams, and you'll find the live stream tab. You'll get a picture of Frankie and I, and we're kind of like waving to the camera and doing, stupid stuff.
Right, but of course, keep in mind though that if you are going to go through the Ustream way of watching us and listening to us, you're going to be a little bit delayed.
Yeah, and the audio is going to be a little bit different because it doesn't pass through the mixer at this time.
Right.
We're going to have to wait another week, I think, for the technology to actually get there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, gosh, look how far FBG Live has come so far. Studio 8 is coming together.
Oh, I'm so used to it going up and then going down and going up. And this time it seems to be holding water.
Right, we're kind of like the little engine that could right now, ladies and gentlemen, just chugging along.
Oh, God. So what about Texas, man? Hey, I actually, you mentioned a little bit about mainstream media or whatever they call them. I wanted to talk about law enforcement in the Republic. What does that look like?
Bum, bum, bum.
Dun, dun. You care about talking about that subject there,
No,
Frankie?
the reason why I go bum 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 is because for the fans of us of our shows that don't know this, I sometimes contract labor out to the president of the Republic,
Yeah.
and so guess what we talked
What
about?
did you talk about?
How is
Prisons or-
law enforcement
Oh.
going to work in the
I
Republic?
had that conversation, or part of that conversation. What did you hear? What? Tell me about it.
Well, according to our president, well, I mean, I say our president, but according to the Republic president, it's going back to the constitutional roots of where, the citizens patrol themselves, they take care of themselves, you're in an armed society, and that the fact that there's a sheriff, there is going to be a sheriff
Okay.
in each county, each sheriff, and then that sheriff will have the constitutional authority or the legal authority to deputize individuals to form posses. We got to go hunt
Right.
down a child molester or something like that. But
Okay.
there's not going to be stadies sitting on the highway hiding behind a bin waiting for you to go 2 miles over the speed limit.
Are they going to be like true quote law enforcement people? Like the Constitution of the United States of America, a lot of people talk about law enforcement and how that's done, and how the highest authority for laws is the sheriff, right? And he's as powerful as the governor, right?
Well, yeah, actually, he's
Allegedly.
even I think technically too, he's actually more powerful than a governor because he could arrest the governor.
Really, even if he's in a different county.
Right. Well, if the governor is violating constitutional
Now,
laws,
is this United States Constitution stuff the one that's not followed, or is this? Are we talking about?
I think it's. I think
the
it's.
Republic
I
of
think it's
Texas.
republic.
1836
Constitution.
amended.
Yeah, you have to add that amended 2007.
Okay, sorry, I
But-
distracted you. Go,
Okay,
move on.
so but technically though, from what I got a little bit too, because in the Republic of Texas, how they're going to operate is that they're going to have tariffs, and if you don't know what a tariff is a tax upon your imports and your exports. So that means if you do business with Ohio, there's going to be a tax on your goods, and that's how we're going to fund roads and stuff like that. And this stuff is going to be overseen by, the way the president put it to me was the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers, in other words, will become the National Security Agency.
NSA, we didn't call them Homeland Security. They can get clubs and tasers and really hurt people.
Basically, but they're not. Their jurisdiction ends, or their jurisdiction is the borders. You know what I mean?
Okay, so their jurisdictions are the borders. So if you're a county that has a border, they're going to be playing in your backyard.
The border of a state, of like if you are border with Mexico, or you're a border with what's that Louisiana,
Or the United States.
right, or part of the U.S., whatever, right. Those are where the the Texas Rangers are going to be most active, and they'll be overseeing things like checking cargoes and stuff like, I don't know what they're going to be checking cargo for. I guess illegal immigrants.
I've heard that before. I'd like to see a little bit more on how that's going to go down. And but so the Rangers are going to be Texas wide like they were in the days of old, right? And then sheriffs were going to take care of their counties and have deputies to take care of them. And what about a city that decides they want a private police force?
We brought that up as well, and according to the president, from his understanding, if the people of that county, say Bexar County, wants to have men in uniform doing disco dances and patrolling the neighborhood, they can have it. But check this out. But that cop, or whatever they decide to call them, right, in Bexar County, has no authority outside of Bexar County. So he couldn't drive over here to Gillespie County and try to give me a speeding ticket because I could shoot him in the face. Or, well, I wouldn't shoot him in the face. I just want to think,
yeah, there will be repercussions for doing that. Yeah.
I could, laugh at him and everything like that.
Oh shoot! Hold on. Let's change this up. Go ahead.
How's that? Is that better?
I don't know. It was off.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that one
You're
was
coming
picking
from
it
this
there.
one.
Wow.
Oh,
Turned off my microphone.
it must have been you, because I wasn't. Maybe you never turned it on.
I blame the government.
Really? Yeah. They came in here with one of their micro mosquito drones and turned your microphone switch off. That's great.
Well, the only reason I said that is because this girl I was courting, if you will, friggin' tells me that I just blame government for everything that's wrong in my life, and I was like, what?
Hey, by default, that actually might work. They are in every aspect of your life, at least if you live in the United States of America. They have more touch points into everything. So, hey, we might as well blame them for everything.
Right. Well, I mean, they want to be in charge of everything, so that means they get the blame, right?
I guess that's why I'm so fond of a republic and actually going back to a constitution, because in a constitutional government, you can't blame the government. You are the government. And if you're not making waves in your county enough to affect changes, it's on you, man, right? We'll do something,
Right, and it's so simple when you think about it, that everyone likes to beat their chest and cry that America's great because we, the people, and it's all like, well, what do you people do? Oh, you elect officials and then just let them make policies.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever question them.
Right. Policies and procedures, and oh my
You
God,
don't ever
it's a
question
mess.
how does a chairman of Monsanto become a Supreme Court justice? You don't ever wonder about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, he was a really good guy, and
Whatever, it's because
he has a great backhand.
Whatever, it's because he was black. That was the only reason why they let him do it.
Well, okay.
Because in America, I've discovered that if you're a color of skin or a woman, you can do whatever you want
At this time.
Right, and if anybody says anything, they're a sexist and a racist.
Uh-huh. And I guess we're both, huh?
Well, I'm a sexy racist.
Oh, God, that's terrible. So, yeah, I was thinking about that this morning, the whole sexy race. No, just not the sexy racist. I was thinking about the whole law enforcement thing again because, of course, we have a new event in, corporate U.S., and the event was something about some group of a guy and a girl go into a eating establishment and shot two police officers that were working for the the corporate Nevada
Right,
thingy,
yeah.
right?
I've heard
And
blips about that.
of course, they're talking about increasing martial law, and they don't say that, right? They just say, we need more gun confiscations and more serious this and more serious that. And everybody goes, well, they shouldn't be shooting the cops. And I'm going like, but, if you really do, and I don't,
Condone it?
I don't, I understand it. Okay, that's the thing, right? Now, I don't understand what happened with those two individuals. They're painting them as some kind of freaked out, cracked up couple, right?
Well, did you hear it was Alex Jones's fault?
Of course it's Alex's, and he probably told you it was.
Well, no. Salon told me it was.
Oh, okay, so Salon's working for Alex now.
It's,
I don't know.
Whatever.
No, it's funny. But, I heard a little bit of these clips, and I'm kind of going like, dude, you never heard Ron Paul talk about blowback. Because blowback is the whole thing, right? Where these two police officers, right, may they rest in peace, they took a bad line of work. Seriously. Right? Because all they were doing was eating lunch, and two people that had been seriously affected by the police department took exception to their gang uniforms and marched up there and proceeded to get in a gunfight, and I guess everybody lost their lives or something like that.
Yeah, like I said, I only heard bits and pieces of it. What I heard about it, they have some connection with the Bundy Ranch. Apparently, they have some connection with Cop Block. And
no, really?
Yeah,
they're friends with Cop Block,
right?
Yeah.
Which means they more than likely saw a Cop Block feed, pressed like on it one time because somebody shared a picture of it. But anyways, they're friends with Cop Block. They're fans of Alex Jones, and apparently before they went all ape on those police officers, they screamed, "It's a revolution!"
Right.
And it's a what?
It's
Who the hell shows up to a revolution with two people?
Well, you never know where these things start. But what I was thinking, because I'm driving around today and I'm watching all these cop cars, and they seemed more aggressive to me, in their stance. And I saw one of them that was doing the whole elephant hiding behind a tree type thing down the road. And I'm going like, dude, really? He's got this big old SUV and he's hiding behind a pole. Right? Yeah. And I'm like, does that work for you?
You don't see me.
But they act like predators, and I immediately thought, well, hey, let me revisit the thoughts of a constitutional law enforcement agency, and then I went to the state, the Texas Rangers versus the, not versus, I guess it would be the Texas Rangers. Their charter will be to deal with border issues and
customs.
And what else? Because what if there's an edict that's passed down from the government that's trying to impose its will on a county? Would they be using the Texas Rangers as a enforcement agency?
Oh, okay. Well, if someone got hold of the Republic and were trying to do something like that, then yeah, they probably would try to use the Texas Rangers. But that's when armed populace comes into play, and because the true military of the republic, and the republic is its people.
Okay.
Because in I guess in a lot of people's visions of the republic, grandma, from grandma down to your niece Stephanie is gonna have a sidearm, or at least know how to use a weapon.
No, why is that? I don't understand. Do they have to? Or
No,
is
you
it
don't
just
have
gonna
to. It's just
become that way?
well, I think it's one of those things. Like a lot of people are closet gun enthusiasts because it's not kosher to be. Oh, I'm going to the gun range. And I'm gonna blow some shit up.
How much do you think it costs to make a gun?
I was actually talking to somebody with this, and if you make it from the very core, like if you mill the metal and everything like that, it actually is pretty goddamn cheap.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of these weapons that are on sale or for sale that have extreme prices. I just wonder where they get those prices. How many things are tacked on by, the U.S. government?
Well, I think a lot of those prices come from they're trying to seize a market because the state as it exists now, the U.S. government as it exists now, has created this fear culture amongst its people that are stockpiling weapons and stockpiling ammo, and so someone like Cabela's can say, "Well, I want $600 for this double-barrel shotgun that's from 10 years ago."
So all the market is at Cabela's, or is it at the Browning?
Oh no, that's everywhere.
Browning has to do the markup because of all the regulators and
well, I mean, at some point, yeah,
and
right.
inspections and procedures and policies and God, can you imagine all the paperwork just moving one gun from your assembly line to Cabela's?
Right, I don't even want to.
That must be crazy.
It's probably it's probably as thick as the worn pieces. But no, so anyways, well, it just seems the reason why I say that everybody from Granny Oakley down to Orphan Annie is going to have training in sidearms or is because everyone involved in the Republic as it stands now is a what's the word I'm looking for? Gun enthusiast, I guess, or they're a second amender, chest breeder. They're believers in that whole unarmed society is a polite society, and that seems to be the collective.
I don't know if I'm going to go along with that. I guess a lot of people like firearms here in Texas, and probably, I mean, Texas is unique, right? Everybody likes firearms, and well, they kind of do it for hunting, and even the women, they're kind of like going, "Oh yeah, can I try that?" You bring out a handgun, right? They're all, "I've never shot one of those."
Oh yeah.
I've seen a lot of that. I'm kind of like going, "Whoa."
No, chicks love to shoot guns, man. I don't care what girl it is. You give her the opportunity to be all like, "Hey, look at that watermelon over there. I want you to aim this at it and just blow it up."
Yeah,
she loves it.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I don't know that I'd go that far.
I do.
But yeah, that's fine, and I don't have anything against firearms. I do believe that a armed society would lead to more polite transactions between individuals, but there will be violence, and that will become kind of because people aren't used to personal responsibility at this time.
Right. No, we're talking about a culture shift. Once the Republic is established, and these guys are able to do what they want to do, and restore and take power, like the president likes to say of the Republic. He likes to say, the best government is one that you can drive up to its door, and you don't get that except in a local, like a county government.
Right.
You really don't get any closer than that. Well, you get closer, it's called self-governance. But there's no way people are ready for that one.
Oh God.
But so yeah, what was I gonna say?
Well, I don't know what you were gonna say, but I know where I want to go right now. Do you mind if I divert us a little bit?
We go wherever. It's your show too.
Let's talk about July 12th and the Rally for the Republic. So that's coming up, and this morning didn't have anything on my schedule. No work all lined up, and Well, I work for myself, so if I don't have work, I have to go find work.
Yep.
So I was thinking about the rally, and I go, oh shoot, you know what? I really do need to get these flyers in every single hotel room or a hotel.
God dang, every hotel room would be awesome.
Oh God, we've got thousands of hotels, folks. It's crazy out here.
Yep. But go ahead.
Anyways, so I went door knocking, and that was really kind of fun. So I went over and I started at one end of town, and I opened the door and I came up and I said, hey, I work on computers. I can fix yours. Give them this whole spiel. When I'm done, I go, hey, I got this flyer. Can I hang it up? And they're like, oh, sure, what's it about? Oh, Texas independence. Oh, sure, right over here. And they help me. They give me tax and all that other stuff.
Did you feel like that response was a little automated though?
Oh, it's totally automated.
They were like not even really. It seemed like they weren't even trying to find out what they were putting in the window.
Right. There are some people that actually look at what they're associating with.
Right.
And it's not something that most people disagree with. They have a lot of pride in Texas, right? And they like Texas. Well, they might also like the United States, but they do like Texas, right?
Who likes the United States? If you like the United States, please call in right now, and I want to talk to you. I don't know what the number is.
Okay, let me repeat the number. It's 347-857-4397. And Frankie says that if you like the United States, please call in.
Yeah, because I mean, in all honesty, how do you like the United States?
You know, are we being hard on the United States? Do they follow the Constitution?
They were hard on me first. I mean,
Yeah, they're hard on all of us, guys.
Right, they broke the law first. They're the ones who, in all honesty, they're the ones who violated the non-aggression principle by telling me what I can and cannot do with my own personal liberties.
Right. Once again, you can call in 347-857-4397. But I had a lot of fun, right? Because when I present it like that, it's really easy. We're in an event town, and they're so used to people coming in, and I'm cold calling them. I'm telling them, hey, I'm gonna fix your Wi-Fi.
Dun, dun, dun. And by the way, I'm trying to free Texas.
Well, I did have a few of those conversations, but you know, at one point during the day, I'm sitting there driving along, and I get this strange area code, and I'm kind of like going, oh, I wonder what this one's about. It's related to my door knocking, you know, because that's how I build my business.
Yeah.
Is meeting people face to face and talking about real stuff.
What? You mean there's no government involvement? Did you get a license for that, sir?
Dude, the best relationships are built face to face, not via email, not via ad placed in a paper, not via marketing through Google Analytics, right? It's just, you know, get there and meet them. And then you also meet the people that you don't want to do business.
That's for sure.
And I met a couple of those guys. But anyways, but it was a good day. But then I get this one thing, right? This phone call. And oh man, I get to my phone and I missed it. Ah, shoot. Yeah, we'll call back or something. So I check my voicemail, and there's this dude, and he's talking. He's, oh hey, so I heard about the rally, right? And I'm interested. I need to get some tickets. Where do I get the tickets? And I go, wow, this is kind of fun. How did he associate my number with
the rally?
The rally, right? That's great. And I never did get that answer, but I did call him back, and I talked to him for a few minutes, and then them damn cell phones, right? They start going, and so, you know, he said that he wanted to actually get tickets before the event, and so I passed, you know, his phone number on and said, hey, why don't you give this guy a call and deal with his tickets, right? You can buy tickets at the door. They're $10 each. You can also, what was that?
You can call that number on the flyer.
Oh, God. You can call 830-997-1908. Or you can call me, because that would be kind of fun to have another person call me, and that is 830-998-4381. Yeah, it really made my day. It was kind of like, you know, he's like, yeah, I want to go. I'm excited.
Yeah, that is cool, man. I haven't, you know, in my...
Well, you don't have a phone.
Well, yeah, but in my flyer thing, I haven't met anybody that excited about wanting to go. They all seem to like the idea of a free and independent Texas, but I don't think they understand what fully what that means.
I don't think a lot of people are deep thinkers.
No, they take things at like surface level.
Right. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm a Panther Cougar, right? Because I went to an elementary school and they said I was a Panther Cougar. It's like, yeah, dude, pause on.
Pause on.
Whatever.
But that's pretty cool though, man.
It was really nice. And, you know, so I got rid of all the flyers and I'm sitting there going, I'm out of flyers, right? I'm like, this is good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to get some more flyers. You know, my first 100 are gone.
That's good.
And I don't know if I'm going to get them colored. I'm going to have to do color this time. You know, it's not that much more expensive.
Right, and one that depends where you're going. If you're going to businesses, yeah, you definitely want the colored one because if they're going to put it up in their window, it does stand out a little bit. Although there is a lot of the black and white ones that I passed out. Because while I was going around trying to get our T-shirt funded for RT, yeah, I went with the black and white ones, and I was just like, you know, hey, here's this flyer, da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah, that works. You know, a couple weeks ago we talked about doing a food drive, right? It was kind of like one of those whims. That was like week 1 or week 2.
Yeah, it was while we were down there in the coast, so it was week 2.
Yeah, but you want to hear the weird thing about that? Is like right as I get back into town, one of the local food places, you know, they needed help again. And then they wanted me to do their website. Oh, okay, well, kind of, I'm cutting my teeth on this application, so your stuff is easy enough for me to do, and you're trying to do good for people, and I can see that, and so I'll give you a little something. They are my clients too, right? You know, we do business together, but I decided to go ahead and give to the community via them. Right, or give to them because I know the individuals and I know their hearts, and that to a certain extent that works great. So, so I get this call, right, and they're like, "Hey, we're having a event, right, and we need help about doing this and this," and then so they're like, "Hey, can you come over to the food pantry and have a little meeting with us," right? And so I'm sitting there. I'm kind of like going, man, this is deja vu, right? I'm already doing this stuff with the Republic of Texas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, have you thought of this? Have you thought of this? And this is how you do this. And they're like going, well, who the heck are you? I'm like, well, I'm Steve, and I'm the computer guy.
Right.
And I know all these things, and I see him taking notes, and I'm like going, really? Serious, guys? Well, I guess it's good information. Because putting on a rally like this, like the rally that we're doing on July 12th, takes a lot of planning. There's a lot of people that are going to have to do a lot of stuff. Like you push through the T-shirt, right? From what I remember, you conceptualized it and made it fund itself, and then went and door knocked the entire thing. Now they have an event T-shirt that is being printed as we speak,
right.
Or maybe
that was completely funded by 13 individual companies or people or sponsors, whatever, that just enjoyed the idea of hearing about a free and independent Texas.
Right, and Frankie blew out his red shoes doing that. You know, he was sitting there door knocking and going, "Hey, you gotta get on my shirt," and that worked really good. But then we've got the whole park venue. We got a whole bunch of speakers. You know, chairs, fences, food, vendors, communications.
Yep.
Oh, communications, promoting the event. We almost had the president on tonight, but he backed out. Didn't he?
We're just not as cool as Jack Blood. That's
No.
all I can say.
I think we're cooler than Jack, but I've never met Jack Blood.
No, I've only listened to him on the radio. I've never met him myself either.
Yeah, he's kind of fun on the radio.
But yeah, but I think I'm kind of fun on the radio too. Like people tell me that a couple times. They're like, "I've seen your YouTube video. You look a lot like you seem a lot nicer on you know
You're
the
nicer
internet, on the internet than you are in person." That's all. Damn straight.
You're nicer on the air than in person.
I guess maybe I don't cuss as much on the air, is what it is.
I don't know. I've seen some of your posts, and you just definitely throw it out there and go, "Wow."
Well, you know, it has to be done sometimes, you know.
It does. It does, I
And
guess.
and unfortunately, I am a human being, so I do experience these things called emotions, and every now and then I have a tampon-soaked vodka night, and I just go off the handle.
Okay, don't ever repeat that.
It,
That's like a fart joke, man.
I-
Hey, we're
sorry.
gonna downgrade you to AM or FM.
Boom.
You'll have to do a morning show with a girl named Tina. Right?
Oh, I hate Tinas.
Oh God.
Tinas are horrible.
So don't do that again.
I'll never do that again.
Okay.
We'll make it a law.
So John couldn't make it, but we might be able to get our.
We might be able to get but we might be able. He said he's willing to do a pre-recorded type thing,
Mhm.
and but he wants to have Ray Cannon, who is the
Yeah, that's the venue I want. I
the
want
Supreme
Ray.
Court Justice,
I want
Chief
Ray
Justice,
and I
or
want
something?
John. I want them to talk to some issues because we've had some fun conversations. I mean, we've had one long
One
trip.
long, quiet trip because someone had to say the word Muslim.
Oh God, yeah, that was kind of tough. You know, we usually go into a Republic of Texas meeting. They're somewhere in Texas, and somehow they have this wonderful way of picking a place that's always 4 hours where I live.
Right? What is that? It's always 4 hours away, and then we hear the excuse though that well other
Everybody
people
else
have
is
to
travel too. Well,
What's up?
look, I don't care. It's me. Right? I don't want to travel.
I'm not them.
If they have to travel, that's good. You know, somebody's got to travel. Somebody shouldn't have to travel.
You know, if we didn't have government, we might have teleporters by now.
That's true. Another reason to free Texas.
Right. For teleporters.
But we ended up taking a long ride, and this was months and months ago. And so we'd never had a lot of access to Ray Cannon, right? But this was kind of like early in the morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we get in, and well, we talk about stuff, right? And we talked about religion and politics and
Political religion.
political religion and how government will or will not exclude, you know, different
Religious
religions.
beliefs, right.
You know, and that's very important to me.
It's
Yeah.
extremely important to me. I mean, I'm not a man of any kind of orthodox or established faith, I guess, whatever.
I don't know what an orthodox is.
I don't need, I'm just making up
Okay,
words
good.
like the state is.
We can, yeah. Okay.
But anyways, but I feel those people deserve to believe and exercise whatever they want freely. You know, as long as they're not ever there chopping off baby heads. You
Yeah.
know, is that cool? I mean, that's cool, right?
Yeah, right. Well, that would be outside of the Constitution if you chop off baby heads. At least I
Or
think
anybody's head.
I think that's not.
Yeah, I think that
becomes-
violates an individual's life in pursuit of happiness.
Hi, baby.
He's not calling me baby, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, well, we're having some traffic in here. But anyways, yeah, Ray Cannon will be a very interesting guest, and I wonder what lines he'd be willing to talk about.
Well, I'm thinking he's game for most things, except he apparently has a real problem with chemtrails. He doesn't like to talk about chemtrails.
I know a lot of people that won't talk about chemtrails. I think they think that if they talk about chemtrails, they'll be lumped into a crazy person
Like
category.
Yeah, like a David Icke zone
Right.
or something.
Well, just wait. Let me talk to him about inverted hollow earth theory and
Oh,
see
God.
if he can, he'll just blow me off, huh?
He might get up and leave.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, because that's kind
He's
of
a
what he.
serious man.
Well, I'm just saying that's kind of what he did when on that trip you were talking about. Once we started talking about, well, what if Muslims did this and da 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 da, and we started talking about doctrine and what religion is and history and stuff like that, he just shut down and went into his book. And he actually, his words were, "It's too early to have this conversation."
Right.
And we never picked the conversation back up though,
No.
until somebody else who rode with us made the comment and saying that all Muslims want to just kill people, and I'm down here punch that dude in the
they
face.
just. Have you noticed that they? Oh yeah. the amount of people riding along has gone down. Now it's just me and you and
Right.
you know.
And Alan on occasions, you know,
Yeah,
our friend
right.
Alan. But yeah, I think as long as you and I keep on riding in the presidential car, other people probably aren't gonna ride with them.
Well, that's just too much weird conversation.
But we don't really, you know, and I guess I try to be respectful, you know, but I'm not going to let someone diminish another a race or culture and not have that
See, I
culture
don't
there
think
to
that they
defend
actually believe in their own
it.
mind that they're diminishing somebody's religion, like the Muslims.
Well,
right?
a lot of people. I'm not saying NRT, but a lot of people that have these mindsets, they don't even consider Islam as
A religion.
as a religion. Yeah,
Right. They just consider it
heresy or craziness.
insane.
Right.
Right.
But if you tell them that, well, what about what was it? What's that book? Caesar's Messiah.
Caesar's Messiah. Yeah.
They're ready to lynch you.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And that's what the Republic's supposed to protect, right? Your ability to believe in whatever you want to. And it doesn't really matter if you're a Muslim, a Catholic, a Jew. Right? Hey, Chuck's going to have a show tomorrow night. He's going to be talking about what is a Jew, what is Zionism, right here on this channel.
Yeah.
It's called We Resistors Radio. That probably is going to be an interesting show to talk about. He got on that tear from the Mighty Phoenix, who couldn't quite nail that one for him. And I could see Chuck just biting into it, right? And he's going, you got to define some of these terms you're
Right.
throwing out here. And why do you have so much hatred of these people? And who are these people that you're hating on, right? And so that's going to be quite interesting if if I were to guess, he's going to start talking about the Khazarians, right? The Khazarians from Russia. And sorry, I'm totally...
Okay, we need to come back to Free Texas.
Okay, we're going back to Texas, but
Okay.
we were talking about Muslims.
But right, I know, and it's always our fault because we go way over the place with everything.
Well,
But all this stuff is interconnected. Is what's crazy. Is all
Right.
these things do have, I guess,
touch points.
threads. Yeah, that touch
Uh-huh.
and interweave. But yeah, from my understanding, from what I get from the 1836 amended 2007 Texas Constitution, my right to worship a spaghetti monster that rains meatballs down from the sky every third Saturday
Wow.
is my choice. As
Okay.
long as it doesn't involve me, kidnapping Stephanie down the street and sacrificing her.
Now you're going other places.
Right.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't, well, because in the Constitution, you pretty much can do whatever the heck you want until it infringes on somebody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when I start going around kidnapping them people and sacrificing them, that's kind of a violation of their.
Oh yeah, that's a
Should've
violation of
happened.
their rights. And one of the crazy parts, though, reading the Constitution, and I don't know if we're going to get to any Constitution tonight, but they did talk about, who is a citizen as defined within the Constitution, and they'll have rights that are blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's fine. But my question is are people that aren't defined within the Constitution subhumans? Do they not have the same inalienable rights?
Well, you gotta show me what you mean.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, like, because I want to
okay.
answer that honestly.
Let
but
me just ask you the
give
question.
me an IE though. Yeah.
An example. I proclaim, and the document of the 1836 Constitution says that I am a citizen of Texas, right? So this document points to it. I proclaim that. And this person goes, and he lives in Texas. He says, I am not a citizen. And the Constitution says he is not a citizen, right? For whatever reason. So what can't he do? What can he do? What makes him different? Where are those rights? Where are those inalienable rights?
Well, I think that very thing is because the Texas Constitution was a big mimicker kind of copied and pasted from the U.S. Constitution.
Right.
Okay, and in both those constitutions, they both point out that the individual was born with what they call birthrights, and certain things are you're just born with the right to. So that person who stands there and proclaims, "I'm not a citizen," well, I think the only right he does not have is his right to vote.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and well, if someone's proclaiming, "I'm not a citizen," more than likely they don't care about voting anyway.
Hmm.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
what if he said, "I am a citizen," in the document, the contract or the Constitution?
Mhm.
It wasn't a contract; it's a general statement.
Right.
It says, "Well, no, you haven't been here long enough. You're not a citizen." Right. And so the only thing different between, and I like that answer, but I'm going to ask that again at some
Yeah,
point.
you should ask an
because-
official though.
Right. That would be a nice Ray Cannon type
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
You'll go, yeah.
Under international law.
Under international.
Man, Ray loves his international law though.
Mm-hmm.
But that man does know what he's talking about.
Hmm.
He does some research.
Well, we'll have to
Poke
hit
at
him up and see if we can get him to do something.
But if
Recorded might be a little bit difficult.
now, from my understanding of someone that wants to go from a non-citizen to a citizen, and you know how you're talking, the Constitution says, well, they haven't lived here long enough, and da 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 da.
Hmm.
Well, that's just it, man. It's just like anyone who wants to move from, let's say that someone wants to move from New York and come to Texas and become a Texian. They have to go through a immigration and customization
type,
process,
right.
right? And so that individual that wanted to be a non-citizen, but then all of a sudden wants to be a citizen, well, I think he's subject to those same bylaws.
Hmm.
And again, like I said, you probably should ask an official, because I'm not an official.
No, I'm just throwing that out there as
I just go off of what I read, right?
Anybody got an answer? 347-857-4397. But I don't think you do.
I don't think they want to give me an answer, because then I'm like with I guess journalists, people like us.
Mhm.
The thing is, once you give it's the same concept like a kid or a stray cat. Once you feed it, you'll never get rid of it. So once they answer one of our questions, they know we're gonna expect them to answer another one,
Mhm.
and then another one, and then another one. But that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to ask
Right.
questions, even
Well-
if we weren't media.
Reporters are supposed to have tenacity and go after it and be. At least that's the early definition.
I was
right?
gonna say, are you sure? Because I
Well-
see them just get handed pieces of paper and then told, "This
Right.
is what you say,
This is your story. This is the storyline. This is what you're trying to prove.
printed exactly."
Right, and there you go. And once you've done that, we'll edit it and we'll make it into something else.
Right.
Well, that's new. That's media today. This
Okay.
is our corporate media, that is all over the occupied Americas. And who knows? Well, screw them. Anyways, but early, when I was growing up, I remember the whole thought of a reporter was this guy. He smoked too much and he had a notepad and big trench coat. And he'd walk around going, "Hey, there's a story. Where's an ambulance? I'm gonna chase it." Right?
Did he smell like booze?
Yeah, of course he smelled like booze. I mean, this is old school, right? This is Al Capone days reporter, right?
Right.
You don't get the story, you don't get paid. You don't
Right.
eat.
Right. You were putting your life on the line most times to
Right.
get a damn
Reporters
story.
got shot and
Yeah,
stuff like
got
that. So
buried, the
I can
murder.
understand, and we always keep a safe distance between us and any subject matter. This is kind of difficult for us, being reporters, and also agreeing with the direction that the individuals are going. That it's important to restore Texas to a free and independent status.
Right, and well, like, I can't speak for you, but and we've discussed this before, and on the show even, and that for me, this is just a stepping stone. Once I have a republic, then I can start influence people, be like, hey, you know what's even better than this limited government? An even smaller government.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't mind starting a race of all the counties to see who can get rid of the most laws.
Right. I like your whole idea of, one day that there is a nation state or a city or a county or whatever, and their constitution reads, "We are."
We are. Right.
We are dot 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 dot
Dot,
dot.
dot, 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 dot. Right. And then you can put laws underneath, but why?
But why?
Right, because we've lived together and we've seen things, but I'm not that much of an optimist. And,
No,
well, I guess that would be a dreamer in my eyes.
I'm definitely a dreamer, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
am a dreamer, and I can see that, and I think it's beautiful looking, right?
Yeah.
We are, that would be crazy, a little race to having no laws and still being nice to each other and behaving normally. Um, but I'm so used to these people in town wanting stuff and things, and it's kind of weird. I
Well,
don't
it's
know.
because we a lot of people have been bred and culturized, or and what's the word? Like when you cull cattle, or you cull CULO.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like that. I mean, these people have been taught that the system
They've been
provides,
conditioned, for
system
sure.
provides.
It's a conditioning process growing up in the U.S.
Oh, it sucks. And yeah. So all you illegal immigrants that come here, I have no idea why you're coming here.
Hey, do you speak Spanish out there in internet land? You can call in too. We don't speak Spanish, but we welcome your thoughts. The phone number is 347-857-4397. Sorry we don't speak Spanish, but it would be kind of fun to talk to a Spanish-speaking
Oh
person.
yeah, like I welcome them full board if they,
I know the word Paquito.
right? Like I might be able to discern one or two words out of that whole statement that they make, but we can go from there. It'll be an interesting show, I'll tell you that much. And this is free Texas, and like we're talking about free Texas and
Right.
things in order to free Texas. Well, I had, a lot of my friends, I talk to people a lot about the Republic of Texas because,
Mhm.
like you said, we kind of support what these people are doing. We
Mhm.
see the direction that they're
I'll
going.
go as far as saying I do support what they're doing.
Okay. Well, see, I use qualifiers so
I
I don't
know.
step on anybody's toes,
Very good.
right? And so, but a lot of people have come to me with these questions. Like, I had a few friends ask me yesterday, well, what is the Republic going to do about abortions, and what is the public stance on gay marriages? And I was like, huh, that's a very good question. I go, I can't answer that yet, but I'll tell you what, I'll find out the answer. And lo and behold, like I said earlier in the show, I got to work with the president today.
Right.
And so I was like, hey, I got a couple questions for you.
Let me guess. Government should stay the heck out of marriage.
That is pretty much exactly what he said. He goes, well, Frankie, my personal belief is that a marriage is, man and woman. But that's my personal belief. It has nothing to do with the government. And he goes, abortions? I don't think you should be going around killing babies. That's my personal belief. But
Right.
that's not the government's decision.
Right, it's a double-edged sword. It kind of sucks if you're, yeah. How
Well-
do you legislate morality?
Well, you can't.
You can't.
It's impossible.
They try here.
Like they're trying every day. You're
Mm.
getting a new law that tells you how to behave. And guess what, ladies and
All
gentlemen?
they do is fill more prisons, hurt more people.
Well, it just makes more of the sense to them. Like, what is it? A war on terror. What do we
Mhm.
have? More terror.
Right.
War on drugs. What do we have? More drugs.
Right. That whole cop thing that I opened with this earlier today. I always flash back to a few years ago. The other blowback, right? And it was some guy, some farmer, took out the entire police force auto pool, all the cop cars, and so he got in his tractor and he drove down to the police station and he drove over all the cop cars. And they're painting this guy and they're sitting there going, yeah, he was mad because he was arrested for marijuana and he'd been arrested before for marijuana. And I'm kind of like going, do you guys get it? He was really mad. It has something bigger than just getting a ticket for marijuana, right? That ticket could put him in jail, put his farm
In
at
jeopardy.
risk.
Yeah.
A second offense, all of a sudden his livelihood's in,
Jeopardy. I mean, if he
So-
had children, they
Right.
become in danger. All this stuff, yeah. People don't think they're just think, well, drugs are bad and you gotta do these things.
Right.
And so, what do you mean? Just because you don't like it doesn't mean you can't make someone else not like it.
Right, and the anti-abortion thing that happened, and actually, I'm just not going to pick a side on the abortion, non-abortion
That's probably the
thing.
best thing.
You know, it's not my place to tell you what to do.
That's definitely the truth.
So, whatever. But they cancel abortions, right? And people are only the nefarious and maybe the godly, right, are trying to help individuals that see a path they don't want to go down. So that's the coat hanger helper, and maybe a few doctors that are trying to play Mother Teresa by killing people. Um, and that I just can't get my head around.
Right. Well, the way I look at it is I don't condone the practice itself, right? I mean, I'm not going to support. I don't think I could give a girl $600 to go, have an abortion.
Yeah.
But I'm going to plead and talk with her and try to figure something out. But if she ultimately makes that decision, I can't stop her. And I'm not going to condemn her for that. Because that's something she's going to have to atone for the rest of her life. Whether you believe in God or not, ladies and gentlemen, you still have these feelings. You still have feelings.
Right, and those feelings are being amplified by the media sources out there. It's kind of like, they're telling everybody, sex is recreational, look at those boobies.
It's not.
Well, see, you grew up in that indoctrination process.
I thought it was, honestly.
Well, okay.
I thought it was like the Olympics.
Well, it started coming into play in the 60s, right? They're like, yeah, free love. They're like, what? That's not just for bedtime to make babies? Okay, or whatever. Anyways, but we're washed with that stuff,
Right. Well, the thing is, like I said, though, I mean, yeah, okay, you want to end abortion, you have to change the culture. You have to teach people other methods, whether that's freaking you increase the education of your children about sex and premarital sex and safety precautions and da 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 da. But ultimately, do you really want it to be illegal where women are like how you said, they're in a fucking bathroom with a coat hanger, or she's popping a bunch of pills trying to kill herself, or doing something like well, I don't know about them, but I personally would rather there be a safe environment where not all life is lost. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because either way, like I said, that individual, that girl, ultimately has to live with that. Even if the guy supports her or he doesn't support her, she's still the person that has to carry that. That's on that individual. That's just like if I went out in the street right now and shot someone in the face, I'd have to carry that soul that I ended that for the rest of my life. And that's no amount of law or punishment or anything's going to change that. The only thing that does change it is if you end my life,
So what I'm telling you is that the media outlets, the movies, and all that other stuff is creating a culture of recreational sex, and the side effect is unwanted abortions and things like that. In the Republic of Texas, what would you think of the responsibility of the media for portraying? Do they have any responsibility to be anything?
No.
They can say anything.
They can do whatever the hell they want. I mean, I'm doing whatever I want right now. I'm media. I'm doing whatever I want.
Uh-huh.
I mean, am I responsible if someone's listening to Free Texas and then decides to go punch Ted Cruz in the face because he's a statist? I mean, that's not my fault.
I thought he was a hero. That's what they all tell me.
Well, that's if you believe in the
fairy tales. Yeah.
But you know what? I'm just saying. I'm media. Like it always boils down to, and our intro music is a clip from Futurama. And there was an episode in Futurama where Bender gets on TV, right?
Okay.
And in the end of the TV, or in the end of the episode, he talks to the audience because everybody wants to get Bender kicked off because he's vulgar and crude and da 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 da, and kids are imitating him, blah blah blah. And at the end of the episode, Bender goes, "Do you ever think about just turning off the TV. Yeah, or you don't want your kids exposed to this sexuality?
Don't listen.
Turn off the TV.
That's good advice.
You are the adult. You are the individual. Nobody. HBO doesn't turn itself on. Disney Channel does not turn itself on. You made the choice to go over there, press play on the DVD or press play on the power on the TV, turn it to channel 59 or whatever it is, and watch some 20-something-year-old girl pretend she's 15, tramping around in sexy escapades, singing to your daughter about having millions of boyfriends. You chose to do that, so you take the responsibility and don't blame Disney. Because Disney's just providing a product. And the product only exists because people keep watching it. If people stop watching those shows, guess what happens? Those shows go away.
Yeah, there's no funding.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. There's no ratings.
They
There's no
stop
money
doing
into it.
The stupid stuff.
Right. And because you saw it for a minute with shows like Duck Dynasty, Swamp People, Redneck Wars, and things like this, you saw that television was kind of shifting towards families and people in the woods and doing things, being self-reliant and things like that, because that's what the culture wanted. That's what people were wanting to watch. Because you really think these dudes, these rednecks out of Louisiana got paid off of some duck calls? No! You people are retarded.
Setup, yeah. And that's real life, right? They're sitting there, stand right there while we get ready to take a picture, and then, what are you going to say? Why don't you tell him this? Why don't you tell him this? And, manipulating reality.
Right.
But the media thing, I want to go back to it. There's
okay.
There's a city around here. It's called Bourne.
Bernie?
Yeah.
Because there's no city around here called Bourne. I hate to tell you that. We're going to have this discussion as long as Texas exists.
Okay. Well,
But okay.
It looks like it's spelled like Bourne.
It does not look like it's spelled like Bourne. Bourne is spelled B-O-R-N. That's Bourne.
Okay, man. Whatever.
Right?
We'll deal with that.
Let's get a
we'll give it. I'll let you have your name. So you're sitting here in Bernie, right? And you have a whole bunch of old ladies that don't want to hear my broadcast, right? And you're a broadcaster over there. They get all upset, and they have a county meeting, and they decide that I'm broadcasting is offensive to them. And so now we're doing the FCC thing. Well, kind of, but we're doing it on a local level.
Right.
So, I just want you to envision this, and you don't have to.
I just want to say I don't think they could do that. Because I don't think a county could make that law.
They could say, I don't want this discussed.
Right. I don't think they could do that because it violates the
freedom of
free speech. Yeah, and the Texas Republic
so they can't
has
get
that.
their panties in the wad.
Right. They can just choose not to fund that radio station.
Or not to listen.
Right. Or turn it off.
Turn it off.
Change the channel.
Right. Say we don't support that.
Oh, please don't change the channel on us right now, though. In fact, more of you tune in. Go share this.
Yeah,
like
sure.
us.
Like us. Visit FBG Live and check out our live streams. We're building on it almost every day. Technology's improving. It doesn't seem like we're ready for a backslide. We're just going forward.
Yeah. Well, what is it? You live in the good times or whatever, and you prepare for the worst or something like that. I don't know. I'm just making up proverbs again.
Oh God, that's all we need is some Frankie proverbs.
Jeez.
Oh God, don't go there. I've interviewed him.
I know. That's how I watched you do that. That was pretty crazy, man.
What, talking to third coming, second coming?
Well, he was the second coming. Steve,
yeah.
the guy in Inverted Hollow Earth.
Yeah, Inverted Hollow Earth.
With the Skyfall.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, we did that on the back porch of a cafe here in town.
Right.
That was awesome.
That was fun. Talking to, God, what's his last name?
I have no idea.
Stephen Christopher.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, he's a very interesting person.
But he even has like his own sign of Steve and everything.
Ah, he had his own emblem.
Yeah. That's what you need. If you're going to be a Messiah, ladies and gentlemen, you need an emblem.
An emblem, and it has to look really esoteric.
Yeah. Or else people won't buy it.
Maybe we need an emblem.
We do have one.
What is it?
It's the FBG Live egg,
Oh God, yeah, that's right.
and it's an egg,
It's an egg.
which
Well,
means
it's kind of not an egg.
well, it's an oval. It's an egg shape.
You ever see an oval egg?
I thought well, that's
They can
general.
be close sometimes,
Yeah.
but they're usually off on one. Okay, we're getting distracted again. Maybe we should eat. Wow, over here.
Maybe we should eat. I do like food.
Yeah. Well, we got a few more minutes till it's eating time, I do
Oh yeah.
believe.
No, I enjoy. I'd rather be on the air than stuff in my face. Tell you the truth. And well, I mean, there's so many things that we can cover here and Freezes and talking about the Republic.
Yeah, I want to go into the meeting that's coming up on Saturday real quick. If you don't have another direction to go.
No, man, that's like I told you when I got into the studio. I did no prep work for this week.
Okay.
You can fire me if you want to.
It's a subject.
But remember, I'm part owner, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have to convince me to fire me.
Well, actually, I can think of a day that you come in and say I need to be fired, and I'll go, oh shit. Okay, whatever, man. Just do your thing, and we'll deal with it later or whatever.
Okay.
But so there's a meeting that's coming up on Saturday, and then that's only a couple days from now, and it's actually in the town of Bryan. You can get more information, or at least this information, over on texasrepublic.info. It's going to be held at the Veteran VFW Post 4692. That's at 794 North Harvey Mitchell Parkway. So, if you need any more information, you can always email contact@texasrepublic.info or call them on the phone at 888-605-4528. That
Yeah.
was my bad. I was flipping digits.
You messed that up big time.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that bad messed up.
I'd say end of the world.
Oh, you guys forgive me? Nah, probably not.
There's nobody listening.
Yeah, it's funny, but there are.
There really is people listening. If anything, I know the government's listening. That's very,
I know. Let's get our NSA file.
right?
Right.
Hey, Edward Snowden, give us a call.
Yeah, phone number on the show is forget it.
You already know what it
You
is.
can hijack my microphone. So this meeting, here's what you'd expect if you decided to come. It starts at 9:30 a.m. Most people start showing up around 9 o'clock, and it's just
Oh, but that's not a hard 9:30. Just to let people know,
it's fluffy.
it's it's definitely not a hard 9:30 because I mean, there's been times we didn't start until like 10 something,
Mm.
And it's just it's a question if they need to set up chairs and tables and yada yada yada. And then of course everybody's all, oh, how's it going? Nice to meet you. Here's a hand job.
Right. And so what you'd see if you went to this thing is you'd see a whole bunch of people standing around talking about stuff and things and whatever, and there are probably gonna be about 20 or 30 of regular people, the regular quote RT folks, the ones you see all the time.
Right.
And then there's usually about the same number or more visitors that aren't that have never been to a meeting, or very rarely maybe.
Right. They're not constant. They're kind of come in and out, or like you said, some of them are first-time visitors, and they're just trying to figure out what's going on.
Right. In the Saturday meeting, this is the second Saturday of every month. Those meetings are used to conduct House business. So the House of Representatives meets, and the Speaker runs the whole thing, and then there's another break-off session because the Senate meets by itself, and so you can visit and listen, monitor either one, the House or the Senate thing. The House asks you to participate at times, and I keep wanting to tell them to knock it off.
According to our rep,
Mhm.
for our county, which is Travis County, under those old maps, she says that she's talked to him and advised him, and he said he's going to
Continue?
he said he's going to put a pin in it.
What does that mean?
I guess that means he's gonna stop, or he's gonna
kill
he
it.
might default and do it anyway.
Huh.
But she's our rep Sally. If she's getting bugged by me and you by
Right.
it, she will bug him about it. She will hold him accountable.
So what we're talking about, folks, is I took exception to the fact that they're holding this house meeting, and we have a bunch of people that know each other and a whole bunch of people in the room that are unidentified objects or people, and so it's been common practice there to ask people to stand up and how do you say, tell us who you are and where you're coming from. And I'm kind of like, what is that a government's business to be asking you who you are or where you're coming from? I understand as a person that's chasing, freedom and liberty for Texas, to wondering who all these people are. They all want freedom and liberty? Oh God, I'm totally excited to hear every one of their stories. I just don't think that that's the correct format to communicate to them.
Right, and like I said, our rep says that she brought it up in the last meeting,
And they're gonna put
the
a
last
pin in
conversation, right? And she had brought up the fact that what they used to do when they had the wives involved and everything else too, they used to have a third committee, because the president of the republic has no say in the runnings of the meetings. He actually just floats around, and so does the Supreme Court justice. And there's actually 2 or 3 other people that do
That
that,
are floaters.
that are just floaters. And so she's talking about restoring that, what they did in the older days. They took those floaters, and those floaters sat there and did Q&As.
Who says that only voting affects change?
What?
Well, I mean, did we have a big vote on that, or did we just...
No, we just
Mouth
exercised our muscle.
Right,
That's
right.
all it is. And that's how a government, if you're going to have one, that's how it should work. Is that, hey, I'm the governed, and I'm telling you this is what I want you to do. You're not going to do it? Okay, I'll come back to you.
Right.
You're not going to like when I come back. Because I'm going to come back with a bunch of signatures that kick you out of office.
Yeah.
But, and
I
so...
just think that the politicians might start getting numb to that when you're starting to talk big numbers again, and maybe not. If everybody decided they wanted everybody to behave and follow the Constitution. Right now it doesn't really matter. Nobody really understands the Constitution of the United States of America, and so they don't follow it.
Right.
They say, well, we got this guy, he used to be a golf pro, now he's on the Supreme Court, and he says that Cheerios is our national food.
It's our national food.
Yeah, national, whatever.
But no, so they're hopefully working on it and trying to deter from that, because a lot of them though are going off that stance that, well, you don't have to sign that paper, you don't
Right.
you don't have to, and it's
I
like,
know.
well, I know, but and you don't have to introduce yourself,
Right.
but it's like, do you want to be that person in the line that's
Right.
not, you're a newcomer as it is.
But the thing is, the logic is so flawed, right? We do that to make them feel comfortable. And then you go, but you're not doing that. You're making them feel uncomfortable. But we want it to feel comfortable for them. Well, if you kick me, it's not going to feel comfortable, right? I don't know. But it's good.
I totally understand that. And like I said, I think they're going to work on it, and I might have to. I'm gonna break some news to you, Steve. I might not be going,
Oh, I know.
and you might have to be the.
Hey, I'll do whatever I need to
You
do.
might have to be the rebel rouser.
Well, I don't rabble river bells.
No, you don't rebel rouse.
No, I kind of go sideways.
So
Come
what's-
around, you go forward with things.
I just run into things and see what happens.
Yeah, no, I'll go sideways and invertent or whatever, but
Yeah.
I'll get the job done. I normally do. So,
Yeah, I kind of have to. I'm thinking about taking a lazy weekend.
I'd love a lazy weekend, but I think I'm gonna run like a hamster for a long damn time.
Yeah, I know. But
But-
you can. Yeah, I don't know. You can have one if you want one.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how else am I going to have interesting show material?
That's true.
You know,
That is true.
this is the good stuff. I can line up some interesting people, but I'm kind of tired of asking. I have one guy that really wants to talk, and a couple of other ones that I wanted to talk on the radio, and you know, I never hear back from them. So I don't like chasing them, and it's definitely not going to throw it out there again. You know, after you ask the person twice. Twice is usually too much for me. You know, if I ask once and nothing, twice and nothing, 3 times. I don't usually do 3 times.
I was gonna say you asked somebody something 3 times.
No, I don't usually do 3 times.
So, yeah, but you know, I still haven't decided whether or not I'll go.
Yeah, whatever.
You
It's
know.
a long day.
It is extremely long day, and it seems though every time I go, I get really upset. I mean, like this last one we went to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got told no that I couldn't talk, and then you know what is the first thing I tell you when we come out and we break for lunch?
I don't know.
I think I'm too young for these people,
Yeah, maybe so.
and you know, and I'm not that young. I'm
You're at least 5.
30 and something years old already. You know.
You haven't even reached 250.
But anyways, so like I said, you know, it just trips me out sometimes, but I like going over there. It's just I have so much. I do battles all the time with people that you know have fears of Muslims, fears of gays, fear that their Christian faith is being wiped out, fear of that I'm going to take away their food stamps.
And we talked about that a bit last week, right? They're projecting their hurt from the occupying
US.
forces. Yeah,
Right, with a lot of their bills and things like that.
Right.
Oh, speaking of that, remember last week when I brought up Article 6, Section 16 about what the punishment is for if you're caught as an official doing bribery, treason.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
Okay, well I brought that up to our rep and I told you know because she showed me the new copy of the lobbyist bill or no the no parties bill.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me, I hate redundancies. You know, it's and so if the Constitution already has taken care of this and tells you the people that look, if your officials are caught committing bribery, misdemeanor offenses, capital crimes, criminal activity, treason, you can impeach them and their land will be stripped and maybe even put to death if necessary. You know, if the charge is big enough, they can be put to death, right? I don't need a no parties bill. The Constitution already took care of that.
Right.
I don't need a lobbyist bill.
What did she say when you told her that it...
She said, well, you know what I've discovered?
What?
A lot of these people have skimmed the Constitution. And they're not daily refreshing themselves with it. And so, you know, they have to go, because basically what she told me is, I gotta look into it. You know, and me and the president talked about it a little bit, and he's like, well, I'll look into it a little bit and see.
Right, well, he has to.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
Ultimately, yeah.
Ultimately, he is, you know, the champion of the Constitution. Any of them bills that violate that, he's got to catch that.
Right, and see, and the thing is, it doesn't violate it or anything like that. It just
redundant.
adds, yeah, it adds something that doesn't need to be like the whole.
10,000 laws when we only need one.
Right. It's just like why? To me, it boils down to like how they freaking like we talked about last week when they amended the oath to add in the whole I swear by hand and by mouth and confirm by you know Almighty God blah blah blah, and that's not what the original oath was. They decided in 2007 that their God needed more praising, and it's like what kind of if you're God, first of all, if you're God, why do you need people to praise you? You're God, right? You're the ultimate being, right? I don't need people to worship me because I am the ultimate being.
I know.
Right? I know I'm great.
Right. But I'm a fierce and meddlesome god.
Right.
No, he didn't say that.
I'm a trickster.
I'm a trickster. Oh, isn't that Loki? That's a different
Oh,
god.
and that is a different God. But remember, it does say in our image is a plural term in that translation. But I might be wrong.
Well, which image is that? Is it me with my awesome calves? You
have
know,
African
or
cows.
I do. They're just like, well,
You know, the audience can see you and determine whether or not you have awesome
oh yeah,
cows
look,
or not.
see, they can't.
No, they can't. It's cut
No.
off, so they have to take your word on it.
No, we just went into fart jokes again. I'm sorry.
Wow, we talking about calves?
It's kind of like fart jokes.
Oh, not even close.
Okay, good.
I'll worry about it, Steve, when we have a woman in here and we're chunking baloney at her. That's when I'll really worry about it.
Are
Okay?
you thinking about chunking bologna at our guests?
I'm always thinking about chunking baloney at people.
Well, I remember the RT meeting. I thought you'd be chunking something at somebody. You know, your temperature can go up so quick,
Well, who
man.
tells me no?
Huh?
Who tells me no?
I love the guy that told you no. Right? You know, that's just perfect. No. It's like-
He didn't hesitate like everybody
Right.
else was hesitant, but that
I
dude
know.
was like, no!
No.
You will respect the order that's going on
Yeah, I'm
here.
gonna try to get him to come on the show. You know,
Lil-
he'll
what
probably
was-
tell me no.
What was his name? Lil Bone? Lil something. Well, he has a different enterprise. Like, he does, he's like a promoter and something in the real world, or in the American world.
Hmm.
Yeah. But his name is Dwayne. His real name is Dwayne.
Dwayne.
I hate saying that though, by the way. I hate saying that, well, their real name is this. Because,
I don't understand what that means.
well, I think that people should be allowed to be referred to whatever they want. Like
Right.
you know, by the American legal system, my name is Francisco. You know, that's my name as far as the state is concerned.
Mhm.
But the name I've chosen as a free individual is Frankie, and spelled with an I-E, not with a Y, which I've been told is the feminine version of that spelling.
Screw him.
Well, I love it either way, because it keeps
Right.
people guessing.
Okay.
And so anyway, so to me, if this guy wants to be called Lil Bone or Lil Trey or Lil Tukey,
Yeah. Right.
that's
on,
his
man.
name.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm like, I was
Okay.
having this conversation with somebody, because this is freeing Texas, by the way. Because I don't know how, but this is somehow freeing Texas.
Oh, for sure.
Right. I have this discussion with people about, I don't think if I have a kid or another kid, I'm going to name it. I'm going to let it decide its own name.
Hmm.
You know, like what if, you know, he or she turns 5 and says, my name is Princess Crayola Pants. Okay, Princess Crayola Pants, that's your name. And then, well, you know, turns out 13, they decide, well, you know what, Princess Crayola Pants isn't really going over too well.
Right. I think I'm gonna change it to Sally.
Sally. Okay, Sally,
Okay,
whatever
there
you
go.
say.
I'll be Sally.
I'll let your grandma know, and, you know, whoever else knows, if they send you cards to make sure it says Sally
No
this
more
time.
Princess Pinky Pants.
Right.
Whatever.
You know, and because, I mean, that's a really hard decision to determine another individual's name. Because I tell people all the time, they're like, back to the abortion thing. You know, people stand there and say, well, you can't kill you can't have an abortion because that's murder, you're killing a life. But yet, as soon as that life is born, everyone, excuse me, sorry, I was being collective, not everyone, but the majority of people, as soon as that baby's born, stabs them with needles, gives them a name, assigns them onto a social contract or social security, gives them a birth certificate, registers them with some kind of preschool, you know, all this stuff. They make these decisions for this individual
Right.
throughout their whole life, and it's like, well, that human being was so precious that you had to save, but their opinion about things are not important. Well, you know, as a parent,
We know what's best.
we know what's best, and we're the guardians of
They
it.
don't really know what's best because they're just following what the government dictates.
Or
they do.
traditions, you know.
Right.
It's like when it comes to
Birth certificates of tradition,
well, I was gonna say it comes to things like
needles.
well, foreskins and stuff like that, circumcision,
Uh-huh.
stuff like that. These are tradition things that people do,
Right.
you know, and they're even birth certificates and stuff, because people think now that
Well, where's
that's
the birth
norm,
certificate?
right? You know, where's the
Look, it's
where's
brand new. I have the paperwork.
it's a brand new baby,
No, I can tell it's new.
Yeah.
Right? I don't need paper to show me.
right?
I always got freaked out with that whole word birth certificate, right? And being in admiralty law, and you know, it's like, whoa, that all freaks me out.
Well, like people they're slowly making the connection, but a lot of people are still having that trouble to understand that as soon as you give your child, sign them onto a birth certificate, you just gave the United States government collateral. because
Right.
now they can claim that life as
Well,
some.
when my son was born, the
Bernie.
a lady that was hired by the hospital that came from India actually registered my son with the United States because that's was her job to sign him
See?
up to this. So she contracted, and she wasn't even an American.
That's scary, man.
It is scary, but people don't actually see. They go, "Oh well, it's not that big deal. It's just a birth certificate."
It's a huge deal.
It is a big deal, or the
That's-
social security number in that case, the
What?
birth certificate. See, okay. Here's something that we got to find out. So, in Free Texas,
Okay.
oh, what happens when you're born? You just are? How do you have any? Do you need any proof, or do you have the fact that I say that this is my son? Isn't that proof enough that he exists? That he is a Texan?
Yeah, I think that works,
So
man.
do we need to have documentation?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because then you get into a whole thing
See,
where
I'd
you
be-
start creating branches of government, though. You know what I mean? And that's what we want to get away from is an imploded or what's the word? When a bloated government. We want to get away from that kind of
Mhm.
nonsense. And so I don't think you need it. I think
So
once
how
you're
do I-
born, you're born.
Right.
Because there is no social security cards in the republic. There is no driver's license. There's no, here in America they pay you to have babies. And, you can go ahead and go to the IRS man and say, hey, I just popped out a kid, give
They'll
me a
give
grant.
me a couple grand. Yeah.
Right, or whatever. I don't know how much babies
I
go
don't
for in
either.
America anymore. But, this is something they do, but the republic doesn't have those things.
Mm.
If you're going to have a kid, you better be ready to take care of the kid.
Right.
And that's a very scary responsibility for a lot of people.
Right.
I know it was too scary for me when I was faced that decision when I was 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle it.
Oh.
So I chose what I chose. It's the other A word. I chose a different path.
Well, I wasn't going down that abortion route.
Right. Well, I just
when
led
when I had my son, right?
Right.
When it was just like, whoa, we're going down the slippery slope. I thought I was shooting blanks. Oh shit!
Oh.
Here we go.
What is it? You were just poking fun and she took it serious.
Dang, man, that kind of stuff just happens.
But so, in a free society or in a free Texas, there isn't those things. If, like you're saying, if me saying, putting my hand on this individual and saying, "This is my son. Behold, this is the son of Frankie," that's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He exists because he's there. I
Right.
can touch him, so he's obviously real. And yeah, so I don't think you would run into those kind of issues of having a birth certificate. Now they are talking about encouraging people to get the Republic of Texas identification cards.
Mm-hmm.
And now this identification card, like I said, it's not a driver's license. It's not anything to really do anything with.
It doesn't do anything at this moment.
Right. What it's supposed to serve though is for people like one of your neighbors, right? He's a guy who travels somewhere. If a hailstorm happens in Pennsylvania, he goes over there and he knocks out dents in Pennsylvania or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but if he was a Texian, so that he's not messed with the U.S. government and their freaking laws, those identification card works as a passport. It shows, and it's registered under international law, and it shows that, hey, by international law, you have no jurisdiction over me.
Right.
I have the right to travel and do what I want.
Now, I heard a lot about that, and I'm still a little bit, yeah, it's going to be
Skeptical.
interesting. Yeah, totally, because,
Right.
You do get Interpol registers everybody, and they cross-index with different countries, and you go to Interpol, like I went to France one time, and then so we had to travel to the south of France, so the Interpol people could communicate back to America because I didn't have my driver's license, and they pulled my driver's license, and then they gave me a temporary license and stuff like that. Well, our Ustream's about to crash out because I didn't have a fully charged device. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that stream.
Yeah, it
we're
doesn't matter.
coming to the end anyways.
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're usually about our normal stopping point. One of these days, we're gonna go full board though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull more.
I think we really need to focus on the Constitution. You know,
Right now?
huh?
Or
No, not right now.
because we can do it right now.
What do you want to do right now?
I don't know. Let's.
You tell me.
Well, what is it? Doesn't the
I'm dropping
Constitution?
Ustream. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. If you were watching on YouTube.